Welcome on into the All Aussie Rules YouTube channel. We've got another season review coming up today. It's the Western Bulldogs 2025 AFL season review. As each team gets eliminated, we are doing a little season review for each club. This is, the 10th now. This will be the final one of all the teams eliminated from the home and away season. Move on to finals teams next. We'll go through all the stats, all the games, all the numbers, all the players, everything you need to know about the Bulldogs season 2025. If you're new around here, I hope you enjoy. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoy it. Subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that noti bell so you don't miss any drops. We have plenty of videos going live all the time. And jump in the comments below and let me know what you thought of the Western Bulldogs season 2025. It was an interesting one for them, no doubt about it. We do 2 podcasts a week here at All Aussie Rules, one on the men's, one on the women's, so go check them out. It's middle of finals, so plenty of good content going out almost every single day, but definitely every single week. Please ignore the fact that we're wearing the pink Gold Coast Suns top today. They're playing off in a final in a few hours' time, so I'm in support of them today. Let's jump into the Bulldogs season 2025, though, and how it all went. 23 matches, 14 wins, 9 losses, percentage of 137%. Finishing up 9th on the ladder, missing out on finals. The crazy thing about this going into the season, if you had said they would get 14 wins with a percentage of 137, very, very unlikely that you would consider that they would be missing a finals with that. For a little bit of context, last year they finished with 14 wins as well. Slightly lower percentage last year of 123, and they finished 6th on the ladder. So 3 positions back, even though technically this year they had higher, would have been a higher ladder position than where they were last year. So a little bit unlucky in some ways, but that was how this season was. It was a season where 9 teams clearly were better than the rest, and they had every opportunity to make finals. We'll go through game by game shortly, but they have themselves to blame in a lot of ways. Highest points for just about 108. Well, it was number 1 in the competition, 108.39 points per game. One of only 2 teams averaging over 100 points per game this season. Points against, 8th in the competition at just 79.13. They're really, really good numbers. We'll get into that a bit more detailed shortly. 36 players used, which is the 11th most in the competition, so not a huge amount of players this season. Debutants, 5, which isn't too bad for a team that played finals last year and were competitive again this year. Average age of their playing team each week was 26.02, which was 6th oldest team in the competition. And they had the 8th most experience with 102.24. Their record against the top 9 is what cost them a spot in the finals in the end. 2 wins, 9 losses. Both of those wins were against GWS. So against non-GWS teams in the top 8, they were 0-9. So that's where it is. A lot of them were close. Don't get me wrong, we'll get into the game by game shortly. But 2-9 against the top 8. The top 8 in the end is disappointing, no doubt about it. Record against the bottom 9. That's where they did their best work. Obviously, 12 and zip. Didn't lose to a team below them on the ladder. So it swings and roundabouts, but they missed finals is basically the long and the short of the Bulldogs season. Jumping into game by game, you can see a lot of green. You can see a fair bit of red spattered around. So they started with North Melbourne. Wasn't the most convincing win, but it was a win. They then lost to Collingwood in an absolute thrilling game by 6 points, beat Carlton by 8 points before back-to-back losses on the road sort of for both of them. Fremantle over in the West by 16, then Brisbane in Adelaide for Gather Round by 21 before they smacked a few lower-ranked teams. St Kilda 71, GWS 32, Port Adelaide 90 points. Gold Coast got them by 10 points up in Darwin in what was a very competitive, close game throughout most of it. Bombers by 91 points. They absolutely smoked them there. Geelong got them by 14 points down at GMHBA, but that was another solid performance. Coming out of the bye, they played Hawthorn, lost by 22, before they went on a run against lower-ranked teams, St Kilda, Richmond, Sydney, North Melbourne. with 3 of them being very comfortable wins, losing to Adelaide and Brisbane back-to-back weeks through rounds 18 and 19, before another little run, Essendon, GWS, smacking both of them, then beating Melbourne, and then smacking West Coast. Came down to the final game. It was basically win and you're playing finals, lose or draw and you will not be playing finals. And sure enough, they went down by 15 points to Fremantle at home in what was a disappointing end to the Bulldogs season 2025. If you look through some of these results, obviously they didn't do any good against top-ranked teams. However, their biggest loss of the season was 22 points. Like, they didn't get thrashed by anyone. All but one game was between the margin of 10 and 22 points. So they're within 4 goals on every single match, which suggests that they were very close, and that's why their percentage was so high, was they did thrash teams, but they also never got thrashed themselves. Speaking of thrashing, look at some of these big margins that they had. They had 71 to St Kilda, 90 to Port Adelaide, 91 to Essendon, 72 to St Kilda, 79 to Richmond, 93 to the Bombers, 88 to the Giants, and 94 to the Eagles. Is pretty crazy numbers in the end. 4 wins by over 90 points in the season, as well as an 88, and then 3 others over 70 is a lot of games. So 8 out of their 14 wins were by 70 points or more. They certainly took care of the lower ranked teams, and that is why their percentage was so massive this season. Jumping into some key stats for the Doggies. We're not going to go through all of this. This is just a summary that we do for each team that just kind of gives you a good look at some of the numbers behind their season. They're obviously a high disposal team, high disposal difference team. They're having an extra 24 disposals per game than their opponent throughout the year. Their disposal efficiency is very high, number 1 in the competition. 5th best as in terms of disposal efficiency difference, which is a good comparison because obviously you and your opponent are always playing in the same conditions. High inside 50 team that doesn't give up that many inside 50s, plus 9 inside 50s per game. Contested football's good. Uncontested football up there as well. That's 3rd and 2nd in both of those areas. Intercept game is not their style so much. Obviously, just the 15th most amount of intercepts, and that's due to both teams having pretty high disposal efficiency. So a little bit more of an uncontested game style in a sense, and a game where teams kind of look after the football a bit better than they do elsewhere. Probably also has a bit to do with the fact that they play a lot of games at Marvel Stadium under the roof. It's usually pretty easy, a lot easier to control where your kicks are going when there's 0 breeze guaranteed. I think they played, 12, 13 games at Marvel Stadium this year, so that definitely does help your disposal efficiency, I guess. Clearance game is their game. Sending clearances dominant. Stoppage clearances pretty solid, 2nd best in terms of difference, and total clearances number 1 in the competition. Contested marks number 1 again. A lot of that to do with the fact that they run a lot of tools, and Sam Darcy absolutely dominates the contested mark game. Accuracy number 1 in the competition. Shots per inside 50 for a team that goes in the most amount or 3rd most amount in the competition. They still have a really high percentage of converting that into shots. So they're not wasteful inside 50s by any stretch of the imagination across the course of the year. Scoring wise, they do really well out of the stoppage. No real surprise there. They do get a lot of stoppage clearances. Turnover scoring actually isn't that bad, seeing they 15th in the competition for intercepts, but 3rd in the competition for points off intercepts. So it's a weird little anomaly there, but overall they are a very high scoring team. Defensive half, really good, especially offensively. Forward half scoring, really good offensively and defensively. And no surprise when they are the number 1 centre clearance team in the competition. They're the number 1 team at scoring from centre clearance or centre bounces as well. And almost 3 goals a game, 17.1 points per game. it's very hard to stop them from scoring from centre bounce, is basically the long and the short of it. That's pretty much all we'll go through on that stat sheet, but as you can see, there's a lot of stats where they were really, really high up. Tackling and pressure, probably not their game at the moment, but high disposals, high clearances, and high inside 50s and high scoring. Just maybe lacked the ability to stop opposition from scoring when they were playing against good teams. Key players to miss 5 or more games in season 2025. So these are players that I would consider probably, maybe if not in their best 22, very close to, and playing more games than they did, sort of thing. Cody Waitman and Jamara Ugle-Hagan. Obviously, neither of them got out on the park this year. Cody Waitman injured all year. We all know about Jamara Ugle-Hagan's troubles this year. So 2 forwards, one a key forward, one a general forward that didn't get on the park is never ideal. Adam Treloar missed a lot of football at the end of the season. He couldn't get back in the team. He was playing VFL and absolutely racking them up. But the long and the short of it, I guess, is the fact that they just missed a lot of football. 19 games missed by Treloar. Liam Jones missed 18. He couldn't get in the team either at multiple points of the season. Taylor Duray missed 18. Riley Garcia missed 15. Oscar Baker missed 14. James Harms missed 10. Baku Kumas missed 9. Jason Johannesson 7. Luke Cleary 7. Sam Darcy missed 6 with his knee injury mid-season. Latham Vandermeer missed 5, and Bontempelli missed the first 5 after doing a bit of a soft tissue injury in the pre-season. So some good players in that list. It's a pretty long list, but I don't think they have that many injury excuses, other than maybe like the Waitman one. And yeah, that's about it. Players missing, so players that were on their list last year that were not on their list this year. Caleb Daniel, he went to North Melbourne and showed why he's still a very talented player. His rating was 8 points up on what he did last year, where he didn't have much exposure and ability to play his old role. Whereas at North Melbourne, he could do that, and he certainly looked solid enough. Jack McRae, probably similar story. He's gone to St Kilda, got back to his old roots, and played really well. It's hard to find a spot in this midfield at the Bulldogs, and you don't blame them for not having him in the inside mid. We'll get to them in a minute, but like, he wouldn't have been in their top 3 inside mids this season. So there's that. Bailey Smith is a big one. Obviously, didn't play last year. He's joined the team, left the Bulldogs and joined Geelong. He had an outstanding season. Once again, it's hard to find a spot for him as an inside midfielder in this Bulldogs lineup. They are stacked in inside mids. Like, Treloar wasn't getting games late in the season. They could have used him. He absolutely would have found a spot in the fit team, but he probably wouldn't have been as effective as he was at Geelong. Alex Keefe, he retired after last year. So that's where he is. Moving on to position by position, we'll start in the back line. And the general defenders to start with. One of the best in the competition, Bailey Dale. He ended up 5th best ranked general defender based on the All Aussie Rules rating system. If you're new around here, we do rate every single player, every single game, and that basically gives us this rating. He was 5th last year, 8th, so slight improvement there. Lachlan Bramble, very similar numbers across the board there for him. Played all 23 games. Jason Johannesson, his rating dropped quite a bit from last year, is basically the story. I don't think he's anywhere near as effective as he was, and he could bounce back next year, but like at the same time, maybe not. Luke Cleary, his ranking went up. He didn't play much football last year. Played a bit more this year and looked solid enough numbers without being really anything to write home about. Nick Caulfield, did only the 4 games, rating similar to last year. Same can be said for Harvey Gallagher, who only played the 5 games, and Taylor Duray only played the 5 as well. His rating was a long way below last year. but obviously didn't get a huge amount of game time this season. Key defenders, Rory Lobb played all 23 games, rated pretty highly across them, 27th best in the competition, very similar numbers to last year. He does his job pretty well. James O'Donnell, he played almost all the games, just missed the one, rated slightly better than last year, had a decent year. There's no two ways about that. Jed Buslinger, he missed a fair chunk of football. He looked solid. His rating's not huge. Seventh best. Seventh best? No. He was unranked, but 7 matches. Liam Jones only played 5 in AFL this year. His rating obviously way below where it was last year. And Ryan Gardner played just the 1 game. Moving into the forward line, Riley West, I think, arguably was their best general forward this year. 23 matches, so didn't miss any football, which is a positive. They would have liked, obviously, Cody Waitman out there to add another goal source for the team. They'll hopefully get him back next season, and hopefully that will help them. But Riley West, he did average a bit better than last year, plus 6 points on that. Rating went from 34th best to 16th best general forward in the competition this year, so that's pretty solid numbers. Riley Sanders played 21 games, so pretty much most of the season. He was obviously rated as an inside mid last year. This year, they used him primarily as that half-forward flanker that goes into first centre rotations to give other players a rest. His number's not bad. He rated higher than last year. He played pretty good season. And, I mean, we'll only see him get better, you would imagine, over the next couple years. Latham Vandermeer played 18 games, slightly better ranked than last year. Not outstanding, but slight improvement. Lachlan McNeil, he's the reverse. He dropped a little bit on last season, did play all 20 games. Josh Dolan played 11 games, rated quite poorly, 101st best general forward in the competition this year. Caleb Poulter played 7 games, unranked because he didn't play enough game time. But his rating was less than last year, where he was more of an outside mid this year, a bit more further forward. Cooper Hines, in his first season, was quiet, used as a sub a fair bit. We'll see what is in store for him in the future. And Arthur Jones, 4 games, we didn't see much of, and not much to write home about. Key forwards is probably their second strongest area of the field behind their inside midfield brigade, but Sam Darcy, number 1 ranked key forward in the competition, 17 matches. I mean, he wouldn't have won the Coleman even if he was out there for those 6 games, but he's a player that doesn't always contribute as many goals as perhaps someone like Jeremy Cameron, but at the same time he does do an incredibly good job of contesting and getting plenty of touches. He does the backup ruck work. Contested marks were insane this year from him. He ends up number 1 ranked player, massive improvement on what he did last year. If he improves again on that, then he's going to be an absolute force to be reckoned with. Aaron Norton, a really good year from him as well. He kicked a lot of goals in the end. 23 matches, ends up as the 6th highest rated key forward. Really good performance from him. After he had a little bit of a slump there at one point, but he certainly looks better as a key forward when Sam Darcy is out there as well. I don't think there's any doubt there. Baku Kamas, who last year was rated as a key defender, played a bit of key defence, played a lot of forward key time this year. 32nd best key forward. I mean, as a third target down there, plays a solid enough role. And Jordan Croft played the 2 games. Showed some really good signs in those 2 games. We'll see what his future holds for him, but we saw enough from him, I think, to think that he has the potential to be a solid enough player in the future. Moving into the midfield, and this is where things are crazy for the Bulldogs, and crazy that they didn't play finals football this year. Marcus Bontempelli once again finishes 2025 as the number 1 ranked player in the All Aussie Rules rating system. Back-to-back years. This year, even bigger gap on the field than he had last year. And almost an 83 rating. Last year, he finished the season at 79. So he did improve even more on what he did previously this year. So fantastic effort from him. Ed Richards ends up as the second highest rated inside mid in the competition, 8 points behind Marcus Bontempelli. His numbers, especially early season, were fantastic, but he kept up a really solid pace throughout the year. He went from 30th best last season all the way up to number 2 this year. He had a fantastic season. Tom Liberatore, his rating actually goes up as well. He goes from 28th inside mid to 18th. So they have 3 of the top 18 inside mids. They actually have 4 of the top 29, which is even crazier. But Libba, you know what you're going to get from him, and that's an absolute competition every time he goes out there. He is a gun, contested player, and he did that again this year. Matthew Kennedy came across from Carlton and had a really good season. He goes plus 10 on what he had last year. 29th best inside mid in the competition. Arguably, maybe they don't need him, but early season when Bont was out, he was very, very important. He kicked multiple goals throughout those few weeks and was very important in the inside mid game. Joel Frazier is a mix of general forward and inside mid time. Obviously, it's hard to get into this starting 3 of the inside mid crew at Bulldog Land. He's someone that has shown enough potential to suggest that over the next couple of years he will be able to take that spot when either Libba or Bont is not there. Riley Garcia, 8 matches, slightly lower rated than last year. And Adam Treloar, just the 4 matches after All-Australian last year and being 7th best inside mid in the competition in 2024. He struggled to get on the park this year with injuries and then didn't get back into the team late season when he was dominating VFL because there was just no spot for him in the team. Interesting to see what happens with him going forward, but him at his best, which was 2024, certainly still capable of playing a role in any team. So we'll see what happens there. Outside mids, Bailey Williams, their main one, had a really good season. Better season than he had last year. Only marginally, but better for sure. James Harms, early season was fantastic. Did miss 10 games. His numbers pretty solid in those 13 matches he did play, though. Oscar Baker played just the 9 games. His rating pretty similar to last year, but he did get a bit more game time. And Sam Davidson, the last-minute call-up at the start of the year due to injuries and whatnot. Start of the season really well. As a depth player, he's outstanding. Is he a full-time starting outside mid? We'll see going forward, but he certainly is a very capable player and someone that should be on the list at least. Tim English was their only ruckman this year. 23 matches, didn't miss any. Slightly rated higher than last year. Not massively, just 1 point up, but 1 point is better. And position rank actually went up 2 spots. So from 8th last year to 6th best ruckman in the competition this year. So not a bad year from him. He had a really massive game. I think that might have been against GWS early in the season from memory. Could be a completely different game, but there was one game where he absolutely dominated and had like 17 score involvements, which is unreal for anyone, let alone a ruckman. We'll now jump into a position summary that we've got here. If you're new here, we do this for every team. We rate every player and every position, every single game, and it ends up giving us a rating and obviously a position rank. Top 10% of each position is classified as elite. 10% to 25% is top class. 25 to 40 is above average. 40 to 60 is average, and everyone below 60% is considered below average. And then unranked players are people that didn't play at least 5 games of 50% game time or more throughout this season. 5 elite players, no real surprise here that the Doggies have a lot of top class and better talent. They have a lot of talent at the really good levels in this league. Their issue is their depth, I guess. So 5 elite, 6 top class. So they have 11 players in the top 25% of the competition. And it's reasonably well spread out. The one position maybe that they're lacking there is the key defense. But like General defender, they got one. General forwards, a couple. Key forwards, couple. 3 inside mids, 2 outside mids, and a ruck, all top class or better, is really good. Only the one player in above average, which, I mean, when you consider they've got so many above that category, it's not that surprising. But they need a few more to go from below average or unranked into average, because that's kind of where they're lacking them at the moment. End up with just 17 players in the top 60% of the competition based on positions, which isn't terrible, but it's probably a bit lower than most of the teams above them. 8 players below average and 11 in the unranked category. Key defense is clearly one area of the game that they need to find some better contributors or the current players to contribute a bit better as key defenders, because that is clearly the biggest hole, I think, in their team. Maybe also another general defender or two to go into that top class or above average category, because at the moment they've only got one that's average or better. Is one of the best in the competition, but you're still lacking a little bit there. Final thing to look at for this video is the best and fairest. This is not the official Bulldogs best and fairest. This is the All Aussie Rules best and fairest. So we give votes to the top 5 players from every team every single week. The winning team gets 10, 8, 6, 4, and 2 votes. The losing team gets 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So obviously the winning team does get double what the losing team gets. And this is how it shaped up for the Bulldogs for the year. Marcus Bontempelli, even though he missed the first 5 games, still ends up number 1 for the Bulldogs with 97 votes. The guy is an absolute madman, and his finish to the season was absurd. His last few weeks were incredible. He tried his absolute best to get the Bulldogs over the line, just couldn't quite get there. Ed Richards ends up number 2, no real surprise there, 84 votes. Tom Liberatore on 66 votes. Bailey Dale 61. Tim English 50 in 5th spot. Matthew Kennedy finishes in 6th with 40 votes. Sam Darcy in 7th with 36. Joel Frazier in 8th with 34. Norton in 9th with 32. And Bailey Williams in 10th spot with 14. Then it's James Harms with 10, Riley West with 9, Lachlan Bramble with 6, and then equal 14th is Roy Lobb and Sam Davidson with 4 votes each. That's everything we've got for you here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button on your way out. Hit the noti bell so you don't miss any drops. Like the video. Jump in the comments. Let me know what the Bulldogs 2026 has in store. Are we going to see them bounce back into finals? Let me know. This is All Aussie Rules YouTube channel. I hope you've enjoyed. We do plenty of content, so make sure you check it all out. Also, all the social medias, All Aussie Rules everywhere. Go check it out. I'll be back with another video soon. 2 podcasts coming out this week. Go check them out. I'm Jay. This is All Aussie Rules, and I'll catch you on the next one.